Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me on Twitter, of course, at DFS Jerusalem. Tonight I am sipping some pity wine. This is a Rambar Cabernet. It's a 2013 Napa Cab. Goes very well with any beef, your red meats, really good steak cuts like maybe a filet mignon. Really nice, very easy drinking Cabernet from the Napa Valley in California. Pretty solid glass of wine there. And I usually engage in strong drink when I have a decent night. But tonight, we get to drink the pity wine because we had some pitiful motherfuckers tonight. So let's go ahead and jump into the Core 4 review. We are going to go with our regular formatting of the show. Was a big 11-game slate last night. Not what I wanted came from it, man. I had a lot of good plays, and I had some shitty plays in my core, man. My core plays fucking suck, and it just so happened that I was able to piece together around those guys solid plays that at least helped me to recoup some of my buy-in back. At one point in the night, late into the fourth quarter, I'm good. I'm up. I'm making like $15. All right, cool. Fuck it. I'll take it. And old chef Steph Curry decides to turn the ball over a couple times before he goes to the bench and knocks me out of all of my single entries. So was not a profitable night for me in the DFS sweatshop. And you have those. You have those nights. Monday hit it hard. Bam. Tuesday did okay with the stacks. And Wednesday not a very good night there. But we've got a 5-game stack slate coming up on today, and we're going to be getting into that in just a moment. But let's go ahead and jump to that Core 4 review. Every day I issue out my Core 4 plays. These are the 4 guys that I will be starting each and every lineup with. They may not all make it into every lineup, but those are building blocks. That's where I start. And to start it off, man, Marcus Morris, shitty. Okay? Chris Paul, shitty. Hassan Whiteside did pretty decent. And Darren Collison, shitty. It was a horrible performance from last night's Core 4. Did not do anything at all what I planned. But it was a crazy night in DFS altogether, man. And when we saw all of that value open up with all of the people that were just being rested and all of the scratches that we saw, it was just a tough time. It was a very tough time. Went into it feeling quite confident that I had made some very solid plays. Giannis was somebody who I was definitely on. He was Core 4 considerable. I liked Steph Curry a lot. But, man, it was a very tough slate. And we move on. We stick to the bankroll management. We don't invest any more than 10% of our complete bankroll into each endeavor. And that keeps us around to live to fight another day. Not a great showing, as I said, of the Core 4. So let's go ahead and jump into the feature 4 plays of the night. These are the 4 most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS sweatshop, in the Facebook VIPs, as well as on Twitter. We're going to start with the Who Dat, scoring all them points over there, player of the night. And this is going to go to Patty Mills. At 3% owned, 3.5K, Patty went out and brought back 38.75 DraftKings points. If you were hip to this game, the San Antonio and the Sacramento Kings game, then you would have done some really good stacking on the San Antonio side. I got a couple of guys in there. I know I had a really solid game from Manu Ginobili. I had David Lee, as most people did. I had some Deadman sprinkled in, fucking up some of my lineups. But I didn't have any of the Jonathan Simmons. I didn't have any of the Kyle Andersons. And that is what proved, no Patty Mills. And that what proved to be my undoing on the evening. I did not really find the value when all of it came out. It was just a very poor showing for me personally in the DFS sweatshop last night. The next play we're going to talk about is the how did I miss that play tonight? Now, this is a guy that came up in conversation several times in the sweatshop. Guys was like, yo, I'm really liking Jonas Valanciunas. I think he's going to be in a solid spot. He is the only true big that they're going to have going up against Boogie and Anthony Davis. I think he's going to have a solid game. And I heard it, but I didn't act on it. And how the fuck did I miss Jonas Valanciunas, man? I was on him a couple of games ago when he didn't perform that well. And see, the crazy thing about NBA DFS is it's not a trend. It's not a trend-oriented sport. It's not like football where guys trend up. You can tell touches equal points, or baseball. Guy in the lineup swings equal points. as many times as the person is active and getting out there. But basketball is totally different, man, because it's all predicated on the ball going in the hoop. And sometimes players just cannot put the ball in the hoop. So you never really can tell. The next play we're talking about is I'm not gonna say you never can tell. It's just a little bit harder, and you're gonna have those cold streaks, those cold spots, uh, from day to day. But the key is to just stick to the process, stay in there. 4 of 10 slates, we are going to be most certainly successful. Monday, 13 times the buy-in. Tuesday, not a very, very great Tuesday. Wednesday, got half my buy-in back. Thursday, the 5 game stack slate, we're going to be hitting that very hard. So let's go ahead and jump into the heat check play tonight. Now, this could only go to one person, man. And we talked briefly in the midday mix about Elfrid Payton and some of the things that the guys were talking about. I said, you know what? I'm gonna throw him in the lineup. I'm gonna throw him in the lineup. And originally, I had him in the same lineup that I had Giannis Antetokounmpo in. But when all of the value and all of the crazy shit started to open up, I did some switching around, and he was the only guy that I didn't have either James Harden, John Wall, or Giannis paired with. I think I had those guys in just about every lineup somewhere, and I had him with maybe Chris Paul. I had him with Curry, I think, and it just was not a great spot to rock. That lineup was not a great spot to roster him in. I did have a few successful lineups, but I pride myself on being able to pick because I may run out 10 lineups. I think last night I had 12 lineups, and of those, I'm really good at picking which is going to be the top 2 or 3. Sometimes I even pick which one is going to be the best lineup out of all of the ones that I create, and those are the ones that I put. That's the one that I put in my single entry GPPs, and I was way off the mark in picking my best lineup to go in my single entry GPPs. I had a lineup that hit over 300, and if that's there, it's all good. So tonight, the heat check play can only go to one person, Elfrid Payton. Shout out to you, man. Back-to-back triple doubles. And you know what this is going to mean? Oh, we got to go get Elfrid Payton the next time he goes out, and he's going to score 5 points. And that's just the way the shit goes. This is the same thing as like on today's slate. We've got a 5 game slate. We've got Russell Westbrook on the slate. Now, last time out, people were like, I think I'm going to fade Westbrook. I think I'm going to fade him. And he goes out and scores 89 points. Well, today, everybody's going to play him. And guess what? He's probably not going to do that. So, am I going to play him? Yeah. Yeah, because I'm human. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chase those fucking 89 points from last night. I'm not going to have them 100%, but I'm going to have some of them. Way more than I did on the last slate because I only ran 3 lines and had them in one. Should have had them in every one. So, let's talk about the one snowflake. This is the one motherfucker, man, who was very horrible, man. A shitty performance. This is KCP, 9% owned, 5.5K. He scores 5.25 DraftKings points. Are you fucking kidding me? Let me take a sip of the pity wine for your pitiful motherfucking ass. You was a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass, and I ain't gonna roster your bitch ass again. KCP, you know you my dog. You know how I feel about you. You know you helped me win big a couple of times this year. I'm gonna give you another shot. But today, tonight, last night, you were a motherfucking snowflake. Get your shit together. I believe you, Ish Smith, and Reggie Jackson combined for less than 55 DraftKings points. The 3 of you motherfuckers, all y'all some snowflakes. You put Marcus Morris in there. That's a bunch of you motherfuckers that didn't do nothing. The Detroit Pistons sucked last night. It was horrible for them. Horrible, horrible. So let's go ahead and get on with the rest of the motherfucking show. Now at this point, this is where I show you my very best DraftKings lineup, and I do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want you to know the guys that I've been talking about all day long, the guys we chopped it up about in the midday mix, the guys I've been talking about since the video from the other night, are the guys that I actually do have in my lineups. I'm not a person that's gonna tell you, oh, I like this guy, like that guy, like this guy, like that, and then you look at my lineups and you don't see him. Or I tell you, oh, I hate that dude, but I got him in my lineups. That's not the way I roll. That's not the way I roll. I believe in honesty, transparency, showing you exactly what's going on. This is my very best DraftKings lineup. As I said, I did have one that hit the 300 mark. Here we go. This was my very best DraftKings lineup. Now, it had James Harden, who we talked about, I liked him already. I like Norman Powell, the spot that he was in right before, I think like seconds before lock. We found out that Norman Powell was not going to be starting, and it was going to be PJ Tucker, but Powell still went out and had 18.25 DraftKings points. Not horrible for that 3.7K salary, but we want 30 points. When we roster a guy at 3K, we think we can get 30 from him. Giannis Antetokounmpo, awesome game for him, 71.75 points. We all were on him. We got David Lee in there. We had switching around to get him. I had Bismack Biyombo in this lineup. He only got 14.5 DraftKings points. Horrible for him. Dennis Schroeder made it in this lineup as well. Chris Middleton and Manu Ginobili was probably the best value play on the slate as far as the guys that I rostered. This lineup finished with 308.25 DraftKings points. The rest of them, I stayed around 220, 240, 250, 260, 270. Nothing really to scream about. Nothing at all. I believe I had like a $68 buy-in and got 44 of it back. So I took a $24 loss today. It happens. We roll on. We move on. We're going to have a better day tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump into the player pricing for tomorrow's 5-game slate. As you know, this is a stack slate for us. I will not be issuing out a core 4. I probably won't be doing a midday mix tomorrow. It's only a 5-game slate. I'm going to send those stack option sheets out to you. We're going to be chopping it up all day in the sweatshop. If you need to get in touch with me, you know how to do it. Message me on either Facebook or Twitter. Hit me up in the email. I'm going to answer back. I'm going to respond to you. I do have to work tomorrow night, but it's all good. Hit me up. I'm going to be there. Now, this is a 5-game slate we're working with. Starts at 7:30. Do a little slate recognition. We're starting at 5 games, but we also have a 2-game turbo at 8 o'clock and a 2-game late at 10. You know what I'm going to tell you? Stack something in the turbo, stack something in the late, throw them bitches in the main. Just do it. Trust me, it works. All right, so let's go ahead and pop it open and see exactly what we have in the way of pricing, because this is where we can take a look and say, hey man, I like this guy, I don't like this guy, I'm not playing this guy, I am playing this guy, and I'm telling you straight up right now how I'm feeling. Russell Westbrook at 12.5K is the highest salaried guy on the slate, and I'm telling you, the motherfucker is unfadable. He's unfadable. If you running one lineup, make sure he's in it. If you're running 5 lineups, make sure you have 3 or 4 with him in it. If you're running 10 lineups, 6 or 7 of them should have Russell Westbrook in it. Find a way to fit him in. 12.5K against the San Antonio Spurs. Let's look at what the last few point guards have done against the Spurs. James Harden, 60 plus. Okay. Last night, Darren Collison, he shat the bed against them, but he's not very good. Before that, Ricky Rubio, 50 bomb on him. Russell Westbrook is an elite, superior talent, one who cannot be stopped. And I'm going to have me some Russell Westbrook tomorrow. I'm probably going to run about 5 lines. He will be in at least 3 of them, at least. I do like the spot that he is in. They're at home in Oklahoma City. I don't see there being a problem with Russell Westbrook going out and having a very, very good performance. LeBron James at 10.9. He's definitely in play. We're stacking, so I mean, you can definitely a Cleveland stack is definitely in order tomorrow, most definitely. Kawhi Leonard says he's out, but he's probably going to be playing tomorrow at 9.7K. If you're going to stack the San Antonio side, yeah, do that. But I wouldn't invest in Kawhi as a one-off. If I'm stacking them, I'm stacking them. But if I'm stacking some other teams, I'm probably not going to be able to afford to pay for Kawhi Leonard. I do like Dame Lillard at 8.9. At home at the Motor Center, going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. He should not have a problem meeting value in that matchup. Eric Bledsoe at 8.7 is probably my favorite point guard play on the slate individually. He is at 8.7 at home against the LA Lakers. I think this is going to be a game a lot of people pay attention to for good reason. The guys in this game are going to be very cheap. We saw that on the last stack slate. The Dallas Mavericks were very cheap stacks, and everybody who stacked those guys and been paid up for Westbrook and other spots were able to really hit the cash line running. We've got Kyrie Irving at 8.6. I will have some of him stacked with LeBron James. Blake Griffin, I'm not fucking with the Clippers anymore. I'm done. For right now, I'm done. They're not playing very good basketball. They're going to the grindhouse. This is a very solid team defense they're going to be facing. I don't see those guys having monster games. And the last time that I believe Chris Paul matched up against Mike Conley snatched his soul and destroyed him. I really believe that's what happened. Same thing happened last night. Snowflake game. Chris Paul at 8K, the price is down on him. You know what? If you want to one off them, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I'm not stacking the Clippers. I just can't do it. Dario Saric at 7.7. He is definitely in play tomorrow. I won't be stacking Philadelphia, but I think and no. Let's look some more because they could be stacked. Let's look some more. Marcus Gasol 7.6. I'm not very interested in that. I do like Mike Conley at 7.4. CJ McCollum is definitely in play in a Portland stack. 7.2 is the price on him. We've got D'Angelo Russell at 7.1 going up against the Phoenix Suns defense. That is definitely a play you can look at there. And of course, the Lakers are stackable. Yusuf Nurkic, I'm not paying 7K for him. I'm not. The dude didn't have a great game and the price went up because so many of us rostered him. I'm not going there. I'm good. I'm good on that. Julius Randle at 7K. He deserves consideration in an LA Lakers stack, definitely. Robert Covington. I know it's against the 5th ranked DVP against that small forward position, but I think he's going to see so much court time. He's going to be able to meet value. I like him at 6.9 in a Philadelphia stack. Andre Drummond is not a play that I'm going to be interested in. And you can look behind Andre Drummond because I think we've got an injury issue with Aaron Baines. He plays the backup role to Andre Drummond. And you know who's behind him? Boban. Could be a Boban night at minimum salary. Last time I gave you the minimum salary play of the night in the stack slate, it was Jan Mahimi. You went out, you used him, and he balled out. Let's be on the lookout for Boban Marjanovic. He is actually a really good point per minute player when he gets the chance. Devin Booker at 6.6 is in play, of course, in the Phoenix stack. Allen Williams at 6.5. He was at 6.7 met value, and the price went down. I imagine we can take another look at him. I kind of like him in that spot. LaMarcus Aldridge will probably play tomorrow. He would be a solid one-off for us at 6.4. I like him. DeAndre Jordan at 6.2 is not a play that I'm particularly interested in tomorrow. Neither is TJ Warren. The price is up on him, and whenever TJ Warren gets up over 6K, that's a fade for me. I'm not gonna play him. If I'm stacking Phoenix, I'm gonna stack in other areas. I'm gonna go away from TJ Warren tomorrow. Marcus Morris. Maybe I was a day early on Marcus Morris. At 6K, not really scared of that perimeter defense or that wing defense for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know LeBron likes to play a lot out there defensively, but he exerts so much energy on the offensive side of the ball that I still think that Marcus Morris can go out and have a solid game against him. I do like Zebo at 5.8. Anytime these guys are at home, I talk about this all the time. He's a fan favorite, a crowd favorite. They love Zach Randolph at the Grindhouse. I like him as well. Al-Farouq Aminu is also in play at 5.7. And just that quick, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope at 5.6. Now, the Detroit Pistons played so badly last night that a lot of us are not going to want to roster them. But think about what happened the other night when the Dallas Mavericks were playing. They were the cheapest stack on the board, and they went out and they balled. Now, they had a big narrative going with Dirk Nowitzki, getting that 30 points, crossing that 30,000 point threshold. They fed him the ball. It was a very electric evening in Dallas. It was a very fun time. They already had T-shirts made before the game started that he was going to do it, so you knew it was going to happen. We don't have that same hoopla and fan favor as we did in Dallas, but the Detroit Pistons are home. They're coming off a tough loss. They're going to be getting up to play against the best player in the world, LeBron James. I think we're going to see some solid games from a few of the guys on the Detroit side, and they are a stackable offense, in my opinion. Enes Kanter, definitely going to be a part of that Oklahoma City stack. You can go very deep in the Oklahoma City stack, and we're going to get into that once we jump into the point totals. We got Mo Harkless at 5.5. Yes, give me some of that. He's in play for me in a Portland stack. Tobias Harris is definitely in play for me in a Detroit stack. TJ McConnell, yeah, this is the worst team in the league when it comes to guarding the point guard position. So the fact that I liked already 3 Philadelphia players says they are a stackable offense, definitely. Jordan Clarkson, yes, he can be a part of a Lakers stack. Vic Oladipo, the price is still down. I'm at 5.2K. He's going to be matched up against Danny Green, who is not as good a defender as he has been in the past. I don't have a problem with Vic Oladipo in your Oklahoma City stacks. Paul Gasol is a no for me. Rashawn Holmes, he is questionable, but he should play tomorrow at 5.2. That deserves consideration, but I'm not very high on that. Reggie Jackson at 5.1, seeing Kyrie Irving defense. Now, I think I like stacking Detroit tomorrow as a contrarian play. I definitely do. And I think I'm going to have either some Reggie Jackson or some Ish Smith. Tyler Eulis disappointed a lot of folks, and the price went up on him at 5K. He was 4.6. I have no interest in rostering Tyler Eulis tomorrow. Brandon Ingram at 4.9 is another one who I really don't see the need for. Marcus Chris, yes, 4.9. I kind of like him because I don't want to pay up that 6.1K for TJ Warren. So I won't be going there. Jahlil Okafor at 4.8. If he does play, the price is very cheap on him, but I still just don't think he's a very solid play. Tristan Thompson, I know this is the 5th ranked DVP against the center position, but at 4.7K, you're trying to complete your Cleveland stack. I have no problem with him being in your lineups. Ish Smith is at 4.6. We just talked about him. John Lewis is another guy you could stack at 4.6 in that Detroit. As I'm not going to be playing Andre Drummond. Steven Adams, the price is down on Steven Adams. What do we do with Steven Adams? At 4.5K, starting center, small slate, got a stack. I think we can look to Steven Adams tomorrow. Tony Allen at 4.4. If he is starting, we know they had some mixed up shit last time when they started Brandon Wright and Harrison, Andrew Harrison, put Tony Allen and JaMychal Green on the bench. I don't know what that was about, but if Tony Allen is starting tomorrow, I think he's going to see a lot of defensive usage. He's going to be on the court a lot. I like him tomorrow. Evan Turner is still out with that hand issue. JaMychal Green at 4.2 is not a play that I'm particularly interested in because I probably won't be stacking Memphis tomorrow. Alex Len at 4.1. If you can't get up, if you find yourself, stacking Oklahoma City really hard or stacking Portland very hard, and you wanted Allen Williams but you couldn't get up to him, take a look at Alex Len. He's going to be starting the game. He's at 4.1K, matched up against a very, very bad LA Laker front court. I think he can be a solid play. Tony Parker at 4K will probably be the next one to get popped tomorrow, so I won't be interested in him. Justin Anderson had a pretty solid game out last time, but I won't have any interest there. Swaggy P at 4K. If you think he can go out and knock down 6 3-point shots, go ahead by all means, but I won't be fucking with him tomorrow. Darren Williams at 3.9. That is a very solid play. I kind of like that play at 3.9. Playing the backup point guard role. Probably won't see Kyle Korver tomorrow. I don't think we're going to see J.R. Smith yet either. I kind of like Darren Williams at 3.9K. Kyle Korver, like I just said, he's going to be out tomorrow. J.J. Redick at 3.9. Definitely deserve consideration in your one-offs. If you get to a spot where you've got 4K left and you need a shooting guard to complete your roster or complete your utility, I wouldn't have a problem with J.J. Redick at all. At Alan Crabb at 3.9, people are going to go and chase that points that he had from the last game out, but I don't think we see that again. He rarely plays well back-to-back like that. Taj Gibson does deserve a slight consideration in your Oklahoma City stack, but I probably won't have any of him. Derek Williams also deserves some consideration. Jamal Crawford at 3.8, he deserves consideration as well. Ivica Zubac, I hope he doesn't play tomorrow because that's going to leave more front court minutes for a guy like Tyreek Black or Julius Randle or maybe even Mozgov. David Lee at 3.7, I imagine the guys will be back tomorrow, so we won't need to roster David Lee or Dwayne Dedman. Channing Frye, he could definitely be a part of your Cleveland stack as well. Because you can go 3, 4, sometimes 5 deep on these stacks. Danny Green at 3.6 is not a player that I really like too much. Neither is Nick Stauskas because I think we're going to see Gerald Henderson tomorrow. Patty Mills at 3.5 is a no for me. DeJounte Murray, no. Roberson, yes, you can. Roberson is at 3.5K. If you want to stack Oklahoma City, these are the guys that you're going to have to get in there. I don't have a problem with him there at all. Aaron Baines, we talked about him. He is questionable. It's at 3.5K. If he doesn't play, we know we can go to Boban to be backing up Andre Drummond. We've got J.R. Smith is questionable. Probably won't play tomorrow. I do like Austin Rivers for the very cheap at 3.5K. On a stack slate, these are the guys we have to find. We've got to find those low salary guys that may be able to go out and give us 5 to 6x value in some spots. Gerald Henderson, he's questionable, but I think he should play tomorrow. Andrew Harrison is a no for me. Larry Nance Jr. Yes, give me some of that Larry Nance Jr. at 3.5K. His injury was like above the waist. It was like a wrist injury. It wasn't like a knee or something like that is going to require a ton of timeout. I do like Larry Nance Jr. tomorrow. He is questionable, but they said he should play. Vince Carter, 3.4, deserve consideration. No Chandler Parsons, no Jonathan Smith for me. Simmons, excuse me, for me. No Sergio Rodriguez at 3.3. I don't like that. Tony Douglas does deserve some consideration. If you've got 3.2K left and you're trying to pay up for Westy, you can jump on him. James Ennis as well. Dougie McBuckets at 3.1. And now that Oladipo is back, I won't be too high on Dougie McBuckets. And I'm going to tell you who I really like since Oladipo comes back. We just talked about him, Roberson. Because with Oladipo back, all Roberson has to do is focus on defending the perimeter and getting those rebounds, get maybe a putback when he can, steals, a defensive-minded player he is. And if he's around the basket, he can score the ball, so be it. Manu Ginobili at 3.1K. The dude's been seeing a ton of minutes, man. And I think in this up-tempo, fast-paced game, we're going to see Russell Westbrook push the pace. It's going to gas some of the San Antonio guys that are on the back-to-back. I think we can see a fair amount of minutes off of the bench for Manu Ginobili. I think we can look to him tomorrow. Raymond Felton is very cheap at 3.1K. Deserved consideration, but I probably won't have too much of him. Tyson Chandler is out of the center rotation in Phoenix, so we don't have to worry about him. Norris Cole is a no. Tariq Black, no. Samaj Christian, no. Bertans at 3K is somebody you may be able to look at if you think the game might get out of hand for some reason, but I don't foresee that happening. We're going to check into that when we get into the point totals in just a moment. Jeremy Grant, 3K is a no. This is not a lot. Domantas Sabonis is starting, and something that I noticed is even when he plays well, when he gets a start, I say in the first quarter he gets like 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. He still doesn't play a lot the rest of the game. Like, it doesn't matter what this guy does. He just starts the game and goes and sits down. He doesn't play a ton of minutes. He just doesn't. So that makes him virtually unrosterable. Gerald Anthony, no. Nick Collison is a no for me. Udry, K-Felder, no. Not a lot of meat on the bone again. Let's go ahead and find that 3K play today. And I'm going to tell you, it's Boban. The 3K play today is Boban Marjanovic. If we know for sure that Aaron Baines is not going to be playing, he is the direct backup, as I said, to Andre Drummond. That is somebody that we can definitely look to. Also, if you want a starter like Richard Luc Bamute at 3K, you can look to him as well. Not too much else out there. But we're going to be stacking, man. And the beautiful thing about this, Shabazz Napier, if you think this game blows out, Shabazz Napier could see some solid run at 3K, backing up Dame Lillard. Don't forget about him. And, you know, even Loabu Calvert, he's been getting some solid minutes lately at 3K. You can look to him as well. Myers Leonard maybe at 3K. Noah Vonleh. You're going to have one of these guys that goes off in order to afford to pay up for Resty and to really make a dent in these tournaments. And the beautiful thing about, you know, these short slates like this, these are the slates where we just take back whatever money we might have lost the night before because, you know, the Sharks can't really hide. See, tonight, when all of that value opened up, they had so many places to run. They could roster in so many different areas just for the simple fact that they had the bankroll and the entries to go ahead and roster anybody they wanted to. And if you don't know, you know, the truth about what this is, man, this whole DFS thing, man, I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm gonna tell you because, and see, I'm not upset with the multi-entry guys. I love the fact that there are people willing to foot half of the bill nightly for DFS. I don't have a problem with anyone who multi-entries. We need that. Multi-entry is what really drives DFS and makes it, gives it an ability to be profitable for not just them, but for us too. Because if we take a look at it for what it's really worth, let's say you take 100% of all the money that is in DFS nightly. Well, half of that money comes from all of the people that put in all put in the multiple entries. The guys that have 150 lineups, the guys that enter every single fucking tournament. They put 50% of all the money that is in DFS. And with that comes, you know, it's just like whoever buys the most lottery tickets stands the biggest chances of winning. That's the way they do it. That is a single gambling aspect to it. There is also a skill involved. And that skill comes in knowing the game, understanding, trying to find trends, trying to find correlations. And this is in every DFS facet. If it's NFL, NBA, MLB, no matter what it is, right? So they put half of the money in. And with that, they suck up the money that we put in too because they have so many entries. And I don't have a problem with that because all we got to do is pick the right plays, and we're going to be fine. The only problem that I do have is when those same people that put half of the money into DFS are the people that we go to get our information about who we should play. That's why I implore all of you to join us here in the DFS Sweatshop. Come get some honest, unfiltered, uncut, straight to the point DFS knowledge. It's not just mine, and it's not me telling you. Like, I'm just the guy that put this shit together. We've got Facebook groups. We've got, of course, the website where we do a lot of stuff on there. So come and join us in the sweatshop. This is where we can really take a moment to explain to you what DFS is. It's shit is like poker. This shit is like poker. And the best way to know how to play your hand is if you can look across the table and see what that person has in their hand through the looks on their face. And that's what they do, because when they come out with these media outlets and they show us, oh, you should play this guy, you should play this guy, you should do this, you should do that, oh yeah, you should do this. When they tell us that shit, we know that they're telling everybody else that. So when we look at stuff like that, when we look at the larger sites, we don't look at the larger sites like, oh man, I need information from you. No, we look at it as, let me see what this motherfucker telling everybody else to do so I know how to play my shit. That's how we approach it. That's the way we approach DFS, whether it's NFL, MLB, NBA, golf, NASCAR, whatever it is, MMA. That's how we approach it. We want to know what they're telling everybody else so that we can get together, huddle up, and decide what parts of what they're saying are bullshit and what parts are real shit, what parts we should use, what parts we should leave. We don't share lineups. That's that bitch shit. That's collusion. We let them do that. We don't share lineups. We just share our strategy together with each other in the sweatshop. So come and join us. It's at www.dfssweatshop.com. Let's go ahead and jump into the point totals for tonight's 5-game NBA slate. The first game, and I'm going to tell you, this is pretty good. I kind of like this, and I don't think a lot of people are going to want to do this the way I'm going to do it. But it's a 216-point total with the Cleveland Cavaliers giving up 4.5 points to the Detroit Pistons. Now, the Detroit Pistons are a home dog. I like the home dog. There's a ton of fight in the home dog. Trust me. Okay? So, let me take a sip of the gel. There's a lot of fight in the home dog. Okay? Coming off that loss they had last night, I believe, to the Indiana Pacers. I mean, they beat them. They beat them pretty bad. Indiana beat them pretty bad by 17 points. So coming off of that loss, they're going to want to play well. They're going to be defending the home court. I believe they were just on the road in that game. So I'm going to be stacking Detroit tomorrow. There's a few guys that I do like. I think that we can go. I'm only going to take one point guard. I'm going to have to choose throughout the day who that's going to be. If it's going to be Ish Smith or if it's going to be Reggie Jackson. But more than likely, I'm going to grab the first guy that sees Kyrie Irving defense, because I think he's going to have a chance to get going and kind of set the tone and have a solid rhythm for his game and the rest of the game. So I think I'm going to be rolling with Reggie Jackson tomorrow. The price point is still very affordable on him. We got Marcus Morris, who I think is in a good spot. We know we can attack the Cleveland Cavaliers at the shooting guard position, especially with a guy like KCP who can shoot the jump shot, get hot, and really keep those guys in the game and keep that game close. Also, this can be a game stack, because of course I like LeBron as well. I love LeBron tomorrow. I always like LeBron. Kyrie, I think he's in a solid spot. So this could be a definite game stack, and it's the first game on the slate. Starts at 7:30. A lot of people are probably not going to stack this game the way I'm saying it. I would go heavier on the Detroit side because those guys are cheaper. I would start Boban Marjanovic. If I know for sure that Aaron Baines is not going to be playing and he's going to be seeing the direct backup center minutes, I would go there. Also, on the Cleveland side, you go LeBron, you go Kyrie, a little Tristan Thompson, maybe some Darren Williams for the cheap, or you can stay right around Channing Frye. There, that can be a 3-4, maybe a 5-man stack on the Cleveland side. So there's some stuff to like about this game. It's a very tasty game. Next game I'm going to talk about is the LA Clippers going to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. They're going to be at the Grindhouse. This is a 208-point total, with the Memphis Grizzlies giving up 3 points. They are the home favorite. The Clippers coming off an embarrassing loss on last night. They really laid an egg, had a horrible game. The only person that I would kind of count on for a bounce-back game would be Chris Paul. If I had to bet right now who's going to have a bounce-back game, it would be Chris Paul. Only because, he's the point guard. He is the smartest player on the team. He is the most involved player on the team. He runs the entire offense. If you force me to pick one of these guys from the Clippers side, it would be definitely it would be Chris Paul. Even coming off of the bad games that he's been having lately and that little injury that he had with his finger, I still think he would be the best play on the Clippers side of the ball. I don't have any interest in anyone else on the Clippers side, and it'll be a miracle if Chris Paul makes it into my lineups, especially going to the Grindhouse, where the last time they played, Conley destroyed him. Conley took him to school, man. Had a very nice game. I do like Mike Conley. He gets up to play guys that are quote unquote better than he is. He plays down to the competition and up to it as well. So I do like Mike Conley tomorrow. I don't have a ton of interest in Marc Gasol. I just don't. I don't have a ton of interest in Marc Gasol tomorrow. I may have him somewhere just because I like Conley so much, but not gonna have a ton of him. I think Tony Allen will be a decent play if he doesn't get the start. If we don't see any more of that tomfoolery they were doing, where they were mixing up the lineup some. I'm not a big fan of JaMychal Green tomorrow as well. So this game is going to be kind of one of those avoidable games. If I don't have to roster cats in this game, I probably won't. The next game I'm going to talk about is going to be the game I think everybody's going to have some part of this game in their lineups. This is the San Antonio Spurs going to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. It is a 212.5 point total, with the Oklahoma City Thunder receiving 3 points. So again, the San Antonio Spurs are on the road. They're the favorite, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are the home dog. Love the home dog. A lot of fight in the home dog, especially when the leader of the pack is Russell Westbrook at 12.5K. Give me some of that Westbrook, baby. Pour it all over me. I wish I had him all in every lineup the last time they played, and I won't make that mistake again. I will be rostering him. If you want to go like 4 deep on a stack on the Oklahoma City side, I can tell you, you can go Depot, Westbrook, Cantor, and Roberson, or Adams and Roberson, and then you still can pay up for somebody else on one of the other teams as a really solid one-off, and not feel like you have a pretty viable roster by the time the lineup locks. San Antonio, man, we gotta wait for some news to come out from them because they like to rest guys in cycles. Like they rested Kawhi Leonard and they rested LaMarcus Aldridge. Well, tomorrow, oh yeah, Tony Parker and Paul Gasol are not playing. And then, you've got some guys coming in to start for those guys that are pretty good. DeJounte Murray, Patty Mills. You've got Dwayne Dedmon that's going to be seeing like a ton of center minutes if something like that was to happen. So I would really hold off on my complete analysis on the San Antonio side until we get a little bit closer to lock, or even just throughout the day as we hear things or see things on maybe Fantasy Labs on Twitter, before I could give you a solid determination of who I love on the San Antonio side. You already know how I feel about Kawhi Leonard. I think he's going to want to come out and play very well against Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City, so I do like him. But I just don't think there's enough stackability on the San Antonio side for me to invest that much salary into them. I would stop right there at Kawhi Leonard unless some news breaks out like it did today. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers going to Portland to take on the Trailblazers. This is a 221 point total. Very solid point total. The only problem with this game is the spread. The Portland Trailblazers are the home favorite, favored by 10 points. That means, out of that 221, we're going to see a bunch of scoring on the Portland Trailblazers side, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. I would start with Lillard. I would hit McCollum up. There's a few times I'm going to tell you to play Lillard and McCollum this year. Today is one of those times. I would play Lillard, McCollum. I would not play Nurkic. I'm going to completely fade him. I'm not playing him at all. I do like Maurice Harkless and Aminu off of the bench as well. I don't like Allen Crabbe anymore. I think if you want to get real jiggy with it and pay down all the way, maybe Noah Vonleh or some Myers Leonard could interest you. But I really like a 4-man Portland stack for tomorrow. I'm going to offset that Detroit stack with that stack as well. I think I still can get a few of the pieces that I want in the other games because that's not an overly expensive stack, the Portland one that is. Philadelphia also deserves consideration as far as stack goes. If you think that they can beat that 10-point spread and that the game will still be a game deeper into the fourth quarter, I've got no problem with TJ McConnell, Dario Saric, and if you wanted to pay up for Covington at the small forward spot, I wouldn't have a problem with that as well. Also, give consideration to Rashawn Holmes. He's coming off an injury. Think he does suit up tomorrow and play, and if he does, he may play very well. The last game on the slate, and the game that a lot of people are going to have interest in. We're going to have a lot of interest in this game. Number one, because the point total is the highest on the slate. It is a 229.5 point total, and number two, the spread between both teams is not that cool. It's not that big. It's not a huge margin there. The LA Lakers are on the road in Phoenix, and the Phoenix Suns are giving up 6 points. They are favored by 6 points to the LA Lakers. I think there's a myriad of ways we can go when stacking not only these teams individually, but this game as a whole. The two best game stacks that I see on the board is Cleveland, Detroit, when it comes to upside and guys that could go off like LeBron, that are elite talents that could get you 65, 75 points in some spots, and it is the LA Lakers and Phoenix Suns, where you can kind of play it safe with a few of those Phoenix guys, and by play it safe I mean you can kind of count on Marcus Chris at 4.3 to go out and make a really good run at value. Against the LA Lakers, you can definitely count on a guy who I think who is an LA guy like Eric Bledsoe. You can count on him to go out and really get close or exceed that 6x value that you need. So we've got some solid plays here, man. You got guys like Leandro Barbosa at 3K that you can look at if you think the game gets out of hand. There's a ton of players on the Phoenix side, and remember this team is still being strangely coached, man, by Earl Watson. So we want to be on the lookout to make sure that we are really in tune with the rotations. And the best way to do that is to just follow the beat writers on Twitter, man. Ask those guys questions; they're answering. It's not a problem at all. On the LA Lakers side, we saw a monster game from Julius Randle that will probably drive his ownership up and towards the 34-35%. I think it's going to be one of the more higher owned guys on the slate because everybody's going to remember that big point total they had the other night when he did triple double. But I think I like D'Angelo Russell a lot in this game. I also think that back to the Phoenix side, Devin Booker is in play just because we don't have very solid perimeter defense on the LA Lakers side. Brandon Ingram probably will get the start. He's going to be matched up with Devin Booker. I think Booker can win that matchup, but I am going to like him in some spots. I am gonna like I'm gonna like Devin Booker in some spots, definitely, and as well as Brandon Ingram. I like him in some spots as well. Now, as far as the Lakers front court go, with the exception of Julius Randle and Larry Nance, I don't want anything to do with Tyree Black. I don't want Mozgov. I don't want any of those guys. There's only three guys that I really could roster on this team with confidence would be D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram with a very slight semblance of confidence, and of course, Julius Randle. So now that we have recap, oh no, let's finish talking about the Phoenix side because everybody's going to want to play Allen Williams. I think you should pay down. I am going to be paying down in a lot of spots and grabbing Alex Len. I think he's in line for a nice double at home against the LA Lakers, so I have no problem with rostering him. I'm going to have some of him in my he's already in some of my early roster builds. So we just went over the 5-game slate. We knocked out the player pricing. We talked some about DFS and what it means and what it really is and the mindset that I want you to have as you enter the sweatshop and we begin to really help you out to become a profitable daily fantasy sports player. This is not just basketball. It ranges all sports. Once you sign up, you're here with us for football, baseball, basketball, whatever it is. You're here with us. We've got cats in the sweatshop VIPs working individually on each sport. So we've got write-ups, a ton of write-ups in there, a lot of great information, a lot of chopping it up. There's a camaraderie. We are a family. We are a band of brothers and sisters. That our number one goal is to go out and keep it 300. But if you would like to support the show, there are a few different ways you can do that. Number one, you are supporting the show in the best, most purest, most beautiful form. You're giving me a voice on YouTube. You were there with me when I only had 10 subscribers. Now we are approaching 4,000. You are still here. Salute to you. Thank you so much. Also, there's a box over here that says support the show. Click that box. Do what it tells you to do. Go ahead and support the show. If you want to cop some DFS Sweatshop swag, we've got 3 days left. 3 days left. Go ahead, follow the link that's going to be in the description of this video. Go ahead and check it out, and go ahead and copy some DFS Sweatshop swag, man. We've got 100% gilded cotton t-shirts, not no cheap shit, really good stuff. The hats are going to be coming soon. They're going to be on order. Also, if you wanted to become a full-fledged member of the DFS Sweatshop, it's very simple. Go to the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where you will receive all of our tips and tricks and tutelage that are designed to turn you into a profitable daily fantasy sports player. You will then be ushered into the very best Facebook group online, and we can get to the money. So this, of course, has been your DFS Jerusalem. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem, wanting you to go out on a 5-game slate, stack that motherfucker up, and keep it 300.